art of relationships. One of the most important parts of his character is how he dealt with people. How did he deal with people? The first rule is to have a warm, soft, loving presence. This is the first rule. It doesn't matter who you deal with. Your presence, his state of being was always warm, soft, loving, easygoing, genuine. No matter how much you follow the other rules, the other principles from his life, if you don't have this presence, this loving, warm, approachable, easygoing presence, people will run away from you. This is the first. The second is to treat every person and every relationship with the dues they deserve. Treat the elder like the elder deserves. The youngster like the youngster deserves. The leader different from the follower. The close different from the far. One from your family different from one outside the family. Everybody has a different place in the wider picture. And so they need treatment according to who they are and where they are from. As Ali ibn Abi Talib says, كَلِّمِ النَّاسَ عَلَى قَدْرِ عُقُولِهِمْ. Speak to people at their level. So sometimes you have to go down a level to simplify things. Sometimes you have to go up a level to make things more complicated. But it depends who you are speaking to. Similarly, the Prophet ﷺ, he treated people according to where they were at, not where he was at. He would come to their level. The third rule from the Prophet ﷺ's relationship is always be the first to initiate. And if not, if somebody started, like let's say someone gave you a gift, someone says salam, always reciprocate, always give return what they gave. And if you don't have something equal to give back, then just give whatever you have. Number 4, one of the rules of the Prophet's relationships, every relationship needs to be refreshed. It needs renewal. Otherwise it dries and it disappears, it breaks away. Every relationship needs to be refreshed or renewed. What we call in Arabic, husnul ahd or at-ta'ahud. And the last, what happens when the rights of two people or two groups overlap, they conflict? Let's say your mother wants to visit you and your in-laws want to visit you at the same time. Or a close companion asks something from the Prophet ﷺ and a Bedouin from far comes and asks him. Who does he cater to when they conflict? When two people, two worlds, two spheres of his life come into clash, what does he do? He gives priority to the one who needs it more. Not necessarily the one who's closest to him. The warm, soft, and loving presence of the Prophet ﷺ. Some of us may wonder, may ask, what was it like to hang around the Prophet ﷺ? What was he like on a day-to-day basis? While he was eating, while he was relaxing, while he was sleeping, while he was walking about the city, the streets of Medina. Was he always in work mode, serious, battle face on? Or did he sometimes relax? Did he sometimes smile? Did he sometimes have a laugh? Was he sometimes casual? Many of us wonder, what was he really like? Some of us have this image of the Prophet ﷺ that he was always in game mode, serious. Like there was a battle about to break out. Because he had so many jobs to do. Family man, a leader, a warrior, X, Y, Z. So many things, so maybe he's always busy, always serious, always distracted. No. When you look at the people closest to him, Abu Hala radiallahu anhu, when he was asked, what was the Prophet ﷺ like just on a regular day? كان دائم البشر أو البشر. He was always smiling. سهل الخلق. Easygoing, relaxed. لين الجانب. Soft and gentle. ليس بفظ ولا غليظ. Not harsh, not angry. ولا صخاب ولا فحاش. He would not use bad language, he would not curse, he would not swear, he would not be lewd, vulgar in his language. ولا عياب ولا مداح. He wouldn't be always criticizing and not always praising either. يتغافل عما لا يشتهي. If there was some food he didn't like or some behavior he didn't like, he would just overlook it. This is how the Prophet ﷺ is described. Jarir ibn Abdullah al-Bajali radiallahu anhu says, ما رآني رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلا تبسم. Every time I saw the Prophet ﷺ, he smiled a big smile. And Abdullah ibn al-Harith radiallahu anhu says, ما رأيت أحدا أكثر تبسما من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I never saw anybody smile as much as the Prophet ﷺ. So it turns out that in the Prophet ﷺ's gathering, on a hot summer's day, in the shade of Medina, if you were to come and sit next to him, while he was just sitting with his companions, what would that gathering look like? He would smile, he would joke with his companions. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, Inna Allah yuhibbul abd. Allah loves for someone to be sahlan, easygoing. Just relax. Why are you so stiff and tense for? Relax. Sahlan idha ba' wa idha ishtara wa idha iqtada. Be easygoing when you buy, when you sell, when you go to the judge. Just relax. Be easygoing. Why are you always tense for? This is the nature of the Prophet ﷺ. One day, he meets Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu in Medina. And then Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu realized he's in a state of impurity, major impurity. So he goes home, he takes a bath and he comes back. The Prophet ﷺ says, where did you go? Where were you? I missed you. So he says, I was impure, so I went to take a bath. The Prophet laughs, he says, Innal mu'mina la yanjus. A believer can never be impure. Meaning you can never be impure of iman. You can always hang around me, even if you don't have wudu, you can always stick around. He would ask for those who were not present. Famously, Julaybib radiallahu anhu. One day he's in a gathering, where's Julaybib? I don't see him. Where's he gone? He would miss people, ask after people, be concerned about people, worry about their personal life, ask questions about who they are, what they're concerned about, make dua for them. This was the gathering of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the first rule. Be warm, be smiley, be gentle, be loving. If you don't have this trait, develop this trait. It requires personal sacrifice. Fight with yourself to get there. The second rule, the Prophet ﷺ would always be the first to start in everything. For example, in salam, he comes into a room. Usually the leader waits for everybody to stand up to greet him. I remember even when I was in school, when the teacher entered the room, we had to stand up. Assalamu alaikum. And the teacher would say, Walaikum salam, sit down. The Prophet ﷺ, if he entered a room, he would be the first to say salam. Somebody comes to him, and this person is shaking. He would say, relax. I'm just a man. I'm just a human being like you. And he would be the first to give salam. If somebody came to sit in front of him, he would usually have a shawl, a big cloak around him. He would remove this cloak and put it out in front of them so they don't sit on the sand. They sit on the clothes of the Prophet ﷺ. And if he was sitting on a cushion, he would take the cushion off and put it in front of the person who was coming to sit in front of him. He would always start. One of the most important principles of relationships. Every relationship is give and take. Any relationship which is purely one-sided, one person is always giving, one person is always taking, that relationship is very imbalanced. And it only works in some rare scenarios, like with parents. Parents are all giving, and there's nothing they can take from us, very little they can take from us. But in friendships, relatives, in these relationships, if somebody is always giving you a gift, inviting you, but you're not returning, it sours the relationship. The Prophet ﷺ, this is why he said, "Man صَنَعَ إِلَيْكُمْ مَعْرُوفًا فَكَافِئُوهُ." Somebody does something good to you, always return. Try to give like for like. If you can't, give whatever you can. So when someone would come to the Prophet ﷺ and they would give him something, he would give them something in return. Or if nothing, he would smile at them. He would say some pleasing words to them. So his nature, he would always be the first one to start. Start with a smile, start with a salam, start with a greeting, start with a gift. And if somebody else ended up starting, he would always give in return. If somebody is speaking to him, he won't interrupt them and he'll wait until they finish, even if it is his greatest enemy. Al-Walid ibn al-Mughira sat in front of him to threaten him when he was in Mecca. To tell him, listen, we'll give you women, we'll give you money, we'll give you whatever you want, but tell us what you want to stop this Islam business. The Prophet ﷺ waited for him to give his long speech. Then he said, أَفَرَغْتَ يَا أَبَا الْوَلِيدِ. Are you done speaking? Can I speak now? Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Last but not least, the family of the Prophet ﷺ. What was the Prophet like with his family? With his wives, with his children? The Prophet ﷺ would mend his own shoes, sew his own buttons, clean his own clothes. The word his wife used, كَانَ فِي خِدْمَةِ أَهْلِهِ. He was in the service of his family. When he was at home, he was helping out. I know, gentlemen, after a long day of work, we get tired. We want to just sit on the couch. There's the father's sofa. Father always sits on this particular part of the sofa, and he lifts his legs. He's done his day's job. But this is the hard work. This is the jihad of the Prophet ﷺ. There's a jihad at home as well. Yes, you're tired. Yes, the lower back is hurting. Yes, you have sweat. Yes, you have no desire in the world to get up. But just for the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, get up and do something in the house. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. How was he with his wives, with his children? If his daughter Fatima radiallahu anha entered the house, he would stand up to meet her and kiss her on her forehead. This is how he'd greet his daughter. Daughters, how were they dealt with before he came as a prophet? They would bury them alive. And he's standing up for his daughter and kissing her on the forehead just to greet her. And he says, if somebody enters a room, they should never expect people to stand up for them. But yet with his own daughter, he would stand up to greet her. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He's in salah. His two naughty grandchildren, Al-Hasan, Al-Hussein, come, they climb on his back. What does he do? He stays in sujood. What do? We do a wrestling smackdown. Make sure we tear a few ligaments on the way, break a few bones, so this child learns never to climb on my back again. He stays, his sujood is so long, the companions, they start lifting their head. What's going on? Has he forgotten that he's in salah? And they just see a child is using him as a horse. And he stays in salah. He's praying salah, and we know how much he loves salah. We know that the most peaceful moment in his life was the moment he says, Allahu Akbar. Yet, if he heard the cry of a baby, he would shorten his salah, cut it short, pray it longer at home. One of the most tricky things in human relationships is how we deal with relatives. I'm not talking about parents and brothers and sisters, I'm talking about outside of this, uncles, aunts, cousins. And these relationships, these relatives, the way the Prophet ﷺ describes how we must deal with them, he calls it silatul arham, connecting the blood, the kin, the blood that you are from, keeping that fresh and connected. The Prophet ﷺ had some relatives who were not very good to him. In a hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, "Inna ala bani fulanin laysu li bi awliya." This family from my relatives, they really hate me. They dislike me. They cut me off. غَيْرَ أَنَّ لَهُمْ رَحِمًا سَأَبُلُّهَا بِبَلَالِهَا أَوْ بِبِلَالِهَا. They hate me, this family, this group, these cousins of mine. The only thing is, they have rahim, they have blood relations with me. So I will do my duty in those blood relations with them. One of the most interesting things I found when studying this hadith, when the Prophet ﷺ made this statement, he actually mentioned the name of the family. I'm going to mention it shortly. But you know what happened in the vast majority of hadith narrators? When they wrote this word down, when the Prophet mentioned the name of the tribe, the name of the clan, who hated him or who was not good with him, they erased the name of the tribe. Gundar, one of the most famous narrators of hadith, he says, in any manuscript of hadith, when you see this hadith, you see there's a blank white space where the name of the tribe is. We removed it because so that people later on don't start hating on the descendants of this family. Look at the precision with which hadith was narrated. However, in the Mustakhraj of Abi Nu'aym, in another variation of this narration, another chain of narration, it comes, he mentions that it is the family of Abi Talib, the family of his uncle. His first cousins, the extended family from Abu Talib, members of that family, they disliked the Prophet ﷺ. They didn't want to see his face. How do you deal with such people? The Prophet ﷺ says, سَأَبُلُّهَا بِبَلَالِهَا. This word in Arabic, he says, I will keep the relationship moist and wet. He uses this word, keep your relationships moist. You know, if you don't drink water for an entire day, what happens to your tongue? It goes dry. And you can feel the dryness in your mouth. So what do? Every few hours, you keep topping it up with water. You keep refreshing. What do they say? Hydrate yourself, right? So you don't get dehydrated. Relationships need to be hydrated as well. But some relationships, some people are there, maybe friends from school. You only see them once every 5 years, 6 years. Maybe once every decade, you send them a message, you remember them. But when you do, it's like the relationship continued from where it left off. You know, these kind of relationships, they are low maintenance. You don't have to put the grease every day. There are some relationships, they are high maintenance. The grease you have to put every day. Which relationships are those? your sister, your brother, your parents, they need very regular maintenance because you have to keep it fresh. This is how the Prophet ﷺ described Khadija radiallahu anha, his beloved wife, his most beloved. When Khadija radiallahu anha passed away, one day her sister comes knocking on the door, Hala bint Khuwaylid. Now is Hala his wife? No. She's his wife's sister. When she knocks on the door, she says, Assalamu alaikum, can I enter? Her voice reminds him of the voice of Khadija. And he begins to feel affected by this. He says, Hala bint Khuwaylid has come. And she reminds me of her sister. And so the Prophet ﷺ would honor Hala. If somebody would come and give him some gifts, he would say, send these gifts straight to Hala. One day a woman came to the Prophet ﷺ's house, she knocked, she entered. The Prophet ﷺ أحسن السؤال عنها. He asked her, he made small talk with her. How are you? How's your family? This is what the hadith says. كيف تيكم كيف كنتم بعدنا. He's talking to a lady. He's saying, she's not related to him, he's not her mahram. He's saying to her, how are you? How are you after we went? كيف تيكم كيف كنتم بعدنا. The woman leaves and Aisha radiallahu anha becomes jealous. Who is this lady? Why are you talking to her? The Prophet ﷺ says to Aisha, this woman was a friend of Khadija and she used to come and visit when Khadija was alive. And then he says an important statement, وَإِنَّ حُسْنَ الْعَهْدِ مِنَ الْإِيمَانِ. Part of Iman is to keep refreshing these friendships. Don't let them end like that. This is how the Prophet ﷺ kept people happy, he kept people honored, and he would always renew their relationship with them.